welcome to No Gods, No Mayors. I am Comrade Chairwoman November Kelly, elected as People's Commissar of Mayoral Affairs for this episode. I'm joined by my deputies, Comrade Matthew Lubchansky and Comrade Riley Quinn.
And also with you.
Thank you very much, Comrade Kelly. Also, might I say, your very tall peaked cap is looking especially tall today.
Thank you for noticing. I spent a long time in the mirror trying to stretch it. No, I sometimes worry that because we do comedy podcasts, admittedly from a left-wing bent, but comedy first, people forget or do not know that I am a communist. I'm a Marxist-Leninist. And so also because someone wrote in to me specifically to say, hey, the last few episodes you've been doing have been real downers. I hope that you could do one that's kind of a happier one. So despite that person specifically as well, today's episode, I'm going back to a guy the Russian communists of old had beef with.
That's beautiful and tremendous.
Yes.
We started talking about this guy because I was talking about the film Reds, which is a different guy gets deposed there. But I was like, is the mayor of Moscow during the period of the film Reds, like 1917 and 1920, is that a mayor? Which we might also get at some point.
Yes. So
that's a mayor.
Today's mayor is Grand Duke of Russia, Sergei Alexandrovich Romanov, brother of Tsar Alexander III, uncle of Tsar Nicholas II, and most importantly for our purposes, Governor General of Moscow from 1891 to 1905. That's a mayor.
Oh, that's a mayor.
That's a mayor.
He's also, I believe, a first royal. So take this guy as a lesson that if you're hard enough to get along with, even if you're a prince, stuff can still happen to you.
Yeah, he's a mayor, and if you disagree, that's revolutionary. That's anti-revolutionary thought, actually, and you're kicked out of the program.
But before we get into this guy, we have a segment on this podcast that we like to call "Death to Reactionaries."
Yeah,
Sam, if we can get some shooting our own infantry in the back music, please.
Oh, this is a free episode, so that's gonna be really confusing to people. I believe it's called Municipal Roundup.
It's called the People's Items.
That's right.
Komsomolskaya items.
Yeah. I have an item. I have two items here. I have two items here.
Before we jump into the items, I wanted to say that one item has been sent to me specifically several times about a French mayor. I won't elaborate more. I researched it into an item, but you know what? It's its own episode. So if you're expecting me to talk about the French mayor, who's been sent in to me a lot, it's going to be its own episode. Sorry, Maddie, please take it away.
This is sent in by listener Galena. I'm just going to read a headline to you both. Self-proclaimed vampire bids for Fort Smith mayor.
Yes.
In Fort Smith, Arkansas, a new mayoral race begins the summer of 2026, except there is an unexpected candidate for next year's race.
Unexpected candidate in bagging area.
Shane McKinney, who wholeheartedly identifies as a vampire, will be running for mayor of Fort Smith next summer.
Well, I think if you half-heartedly identify as a vampire, you are not electable.
Well, that makes you a daywalker. Most politicians are blood-sucking vampires, says McKinney, who has lived in Fort Smith his whole life. So why not have a real one? And before you ask, yes, it is a guy with greasy long hair. Yes, he was wearing a vest and a dress shirt under it with not buttoned all the way to the top. He kind of looks like Tom Cruise's extremely homophobic gay performance in Interview with the Vampire.
No, I'm just a simple Arkansas vampire.
So I have a question about Fort Smith resident and vampire Shane McKinney. Is he?
Sorry, you've just sent me the photo of this guy.
I'm looking.
The voice training works until I laugh hard enough.
Making that one annoying joke true.
I need to ask a couple questions about this guy before we proceed. Fort Smith resident and vampire Shane McKinney. So he's the politicians or blood-sucking vampires guy. Is he like Tiger Twirly Big Stick or whatever, where he's like, okay, well, you're sort of having that position like from a progressive angle? Or is he coming at that from like a sort of, let's say, Anton LaVey Satanist angle? Or is it a third thing where all of his politics are really kind of fun and incoherent? Or is it a fourth thing where he's a real vampire? These are the new political compass, by the way.
This article did not speak to his political bent necessarily.
I see.
But he goes, he began to consider a mayoral run after what he calls years of, quote, maddening bureaucracy that cost him time and money, and at times seemed like a Saturday Night Live sketch, in quotes. He didn't claim
even Dracula had to deal with like estate agents.
Like which Saturday Night Live skit? The Californians?
Yeah, I don't know, but he seems to be mad at the sort of like Kafkaesque nature of bureaucracy in a small town, which makes sense. But Dracula, if you'll remember the film and book Dracula, he does spend most of his time talking to lawyers. So it does actually kind of track. Yeah. Yeah. It seems like he wants to cut through the red tape, which signals a sort of right winginess to me. But I can't be sure. I can't be sure.
I love this guy. There's a reason.
So I'm gonna ruin this real quick. Much like Dracula, he is a landlord and property owner. He claims reported dealings with the city left him convinced that Fort Smith's development process actively works against growth. He's the abundance vampire. He's Count Abundance.
There is a reason why in the long storied history of Southern Gothic, nobody's ever tried to make nobody's ever tried to make a vampire from Arkansas.
An Arkansan vampire? You were reaching for
Louisiana, Louisiana, sure. Arkansas,
absolutely.
Not so much.
Yeah, Savannah, Georgia, absolutely. Fort Smith, Arkansas. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I need to raise my hand in the municipal meeting. I found his YouTube channel.
Oh god. Oh no.
Point of order, I found this guy's YouTube channel.
If it please the court, I found this motherfucker's YouTube channel.
Okay, just read us some video titles, please. Would you?
So the description is real estate investing, DIY home repairs, life lessons, and inspirational content. Let's all learn together. But then I'm gonna send you.
Okay, there's a 2-hour 52 video on here of the Fort Smith City Council meeting that he live streamed. There's also landlord changing locks while the tenants aren't home.
Oh no.
We defeated Airbnb thanks to you, and then in the background he has a bunch of kind of, I would say, Anne Rice style decor.
Sure. I mean, it would be concerning if it wasn't. Yeah.
So I imagine giving half of your salary to this guy.
Yeah, this guy's a real bloodsucker, you know? Like,
yeah.
He also was one of these like Airbnb landlords who will complain that there were parties there. Again, I feel like if you're a vampire, that should kind of be your thing. But
my tenants have a gas leak. Is this dangerous?
Is this your landlord, Nova?
You have a gas leak and your vampire landlord is making a 7-minute video about what to do about it?
Well, yeah, he can't. Well, he's got to wait until it's nighttime to come fix it. So during the day, he's in the coffin making the video. I'm so sick, by the way, of these fucking influencers doing the videos in their car where they're sucking blood inside their coffins. And I'm just like, you have to think of a different place to shoot this. I'm just so sick of it.
Okay. Could I please send you probably one of my favorite video thumbnails, possibly of all time?
Okay.
If you could please look in the WhatsApp.
God! Okay.
The WhatsApp, please.
His avatar is incredible, but the other one is how I made 6K in 3 days with no money or credit. And the thumbnail is a guy wearing a really, really Nazi Charlie Kirk looking t-shirt, like with a laurel wreath and like a hawk on it.
Yeah, we are Charlie Kirk. We carry the flame.
Yeah, you know what I will say about Charlie Kirk? Really good access to the neck blood now. You can get a straw.
Charlie Kirk, the vampire's dream.
Oh my God.
Do you think for a vampire, the Charlie Kirk thing was like shotgunning a beer would be? That's why they call it that.
Oh my God. We're really upfronting the left-wing bona fides at the top of this episode.
I would like to think so.
That's fine. That's fine.
Counting or not counting gang violence.
It would be really, really shocking if someone was a listener of this show and was just suddenly like, wait a minute, I thought they were all right wing.
Okay. Don't pull Jenga blocks out of my fucking intro sequence.
Yeah.
Sorry, so, I don't want to.
I just want to say though, like, imagine. I just want to bring it back. I want to bring it back to the vampire landlord running for mayor. Imagine that, like, I don't know, you have like a leak in your roof or something, and your landlord needs to come over, and he's like, okay, wait, let me just put in my teeth.
my landlord Shane with a Y is coming over and he's got his teeth in.
He's wearing the little like ruby necklace. He's walking around like with his elbow up so his cape drapes in front of his face nicely. And while he's posing like that, he's painting over your light switch.
I would like to continue reading titles of his videos all day, and I can't do that because I wrote a whole episode, but I'm just going to give you one.
Yeah, and then I have one more item.
Where's the missing mattress at my vampire theme Airbnb?
Blair, where is the missing mattress?
No, wait, one more. Would a vampire want a ceiling fan or chandelier?
That's a trick question to lure people. That's a trick question to identify people who aren't vampires and don't know about vampires.
Oh my God.
To like,
Christ on the cross. Okay.
Here's the other thing. If you want him to fix anything, and if you're like washing machine breaks, you will have to invite him in to fix it.
Christ on a cross and other things that will keep this guy out of your house.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right.
I agree with you, November. I could, and you know what? Maybe we should just like have a segment.
Yeah,
we should
have
just
a running
read
segment that's just like we hear like the and we just talk about this guy's YouTube videos every week.
Okay, you know what we should do? Let's follow his campaign like we're following Randall Weddle's fight against the Chomos.
Yeah, I think we're adding. Welcome.
Welcome Shane McKinney to being a segment with theme music. Sam, can you please give us some horror organ?
I bring you a Russian czarist and you bring me Rasputin.
By the way, I'm just going to next week, just plug in my synth and play that song on an organ because I can do that. So I have one more item. Speaking of the pantheon of no gods, no mayors, past and future guests, I have a Tiffany Henyard update. So it's twofold. She's been ordered to pay $10,000 to her landlord that she was not paying rent to while she lived there as mayor. So not only is she a derelict landlord, she's a derelict tenant, which is incredible to consider. Yeah,
weirdly, the landlord also a vampire, but in a sort of Michigan way.
Oh, no, yeah.
Illinois, rather.
Illinois, yeah. So she's no longer the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, obviously. Last time we checked in with her, she was writing a book. She had like an atelier in the Atlanta suburbs. She is now filing to run as a Republican for District County Commissioner in Fulton County, Georgia, which is in Atlanta and its suburbs. So it looks like
I hope she wins.
The Democratic race is like a really, really tight four-way race between four known Democrats, and it's a very Democratic seat. So this seems to be the only way for her to get into the general, right, is to run as a Republican, and then she'll,
Atlanta's Curtis Sliwa?
Ostensibly, it seems that she's like trying to like sneak her way into the general and then see what she can do. But she is running as a Republican for Fulton County, Georgia commissioner.
Listen, Atlanta, embrace the unity.
She just got there.
I mean, I do like that for Municipal Roundup today, we essentially are doing municipal universal monsters.
Yeah.
We have like the hive mind and the Dracula.
Yeah, so all of them get on a ship to meet artificial intelligence.
I was working in the council chamber late one night. Yeah, when I encountered a terrible fright.
Mayor sight.
Did the mayoral mash? Yeah.
I am. I hear a Blind Sight reference, and I immediately get like 70% of my hit points.
Yeah, it's all for you, Riley.
Yeah. So I just wanted to touch on Tiffany, who are obviously our eyes are always on the sky with Miss Henyard,
of course.
And that was just sent in by a bazillion people,
unblinking.
Yeah, but first past the post setting that in was listener Sean. So thank you, Sean.
I wish her every success in spreading her spores across Atlanta.
Yeah, so if, we're issuing a level 3 municipal spore warning to Fulton County, Georgia. Seal your windows. Mask up.
Like Pluribus, right? Of course she would go to Atlanta. That's where the CDC is. Like, she's trying to get into the labs.
Yeah, I've played Pandemic. I see how this goes.
Madagascar has closed its borders against Tiffany Henyard.
So I'd actually like to issue a dissenting view from Maddie's warning that you must have obey spore warning 3 in Fulton County.
Yeah.
I'd actually like to suggest that everybody goes to the Kissing Festival. By the way, I recently got back from a trip to Dalton. I'm pretty excited to be here.
Where I went to the Dalton, Illinois Licking Festival. Where we all just, you're not licking each other. You're
Weirdly,
licking the same
predated
services.
her term as mayor. It's just, it's kind of why she ran there.
Yeah, obvious.
That's why. Well, let's be obvious. That's why she was sent there to start.
True.
By the way, the Kissing Festival is pretty chaste, right? It's not, it's not
like
nothing
one
dirty.
peck on the lips.
Yeah.
Has to be on the lips, though.
It has to be on the lip. Make
Or
sure
like
you
technically any mucous membrane. You could do eye,
Yeah.
like if you wanted.
You want a showboat.
Yeah. yeah. Like a lunch pail kind of spore vector is more like the lips.
Doing a no-look windmill kiss onto my lover's eye.
I'm actually landing a 360-degree spin with a flip from a 6-foot height right onto the lips.
I appointed myself commissar of this episode, and I have totally lost control of
No,
this.
that's
You're going to have to do battlefield execution, I think.
I'm ceding the floor back to Comrade Kelly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's the new business for this episode.
Thank you. Workers of the world unite. If we can get some, actually, well, because I'm going to set the tone here, right? So actually, Sam, if we could get some like church Slavonic music, something like that. Okay, so we're familiar with the Romanovs, right? A bit.
Of course.
We saw Anastasia growing up.
I didn't see Anastasia growing up. I tried to watch it a couple of years ago, and I turned it off within 5 minutes because I was like, this is Tsarist propaganda.
It legitimately is, yeah.
Like, truly, it was like, actually, the people of Russia loved the Romanovs and that devil Rasputin, but ensorcelled them to be mad about the conditions in Russia.
Yes.
Crazy work.
Wait,
Don.
could you potentially say that Anastasia was this advancing a kind of Stancelite argument about Russia that people were like propagandized into being upset about what was otherwise a fine situation?
I think so. I think
Okay,
Anastasia.
Rasputin was the
Don
first
Bluth.
poster.
Yeah, he was a Bernie bro.
He was the first left-wing poster, was Rasputin.
That's right. He was the dirtbag left. Okay, but so we're familiar with the Russian royal family. They are sometimes remembered fondly, and this episode is going to be an exercise in sort of shoveling evidence onto the pile that they do not deserve one bit of it. So the Russia of the late 19th century is imperial power on the decline, sort of all of the forces that lead to the Russian Revolution are in full swing, right? Alexander II, the Lib Tsar, had formally abolished serfdom in 1861.
Oh my God! Just for reference, Alexander II abolished serfdom the year that the anti-Semitic cowboy moved to America.
Yes, yeah, and formally abolished serfdom, mind you, and. This was not sufficient to stem the tide of revolution in the air, and ultimately he got blown up by anarchists in 1881. So, yeah. So with the guy who will try and do student debt relief for Pell Grant recipients who open a small business in a marginalized community having been exploded, the crown fell to his son, Alexander III. Alexander III, big guy, bad guy, cheap thug. One of his party tricks was like
Donald Trump in 1890s Russia. Big guy,
very nasty person.
Big guy, mean guy.
Yeah,
cheap thug.
He was really fond of it, like as a party trick, like tearing packs of playing cards in half with his bare hands.
Okay, that's pretty cool, actually. Wait, hold on. If I saw a guy do that, I would do whatever he wanted.
Famously bad-tempered. At one point, he like physically threatened the Austrian ambassador by like taking his dining fork, twisting it into a knot, and like throwing it back onto his plate.
How did he get his tongue that strong?
Doing the like cherry stem thing, yeah.
Well, in Russia, you got to learn how to do the cherry stem thing with a potato, so it's kind of hard and it takes a long time to do. It'll get you really, really beefy in there.
Alexander III also wasn't really like meant to have been Tsar, but his older brother Nicholas, who was the like elder son, had died age 21 of, and take this as a token of Russian medical knowledge at the time, wrestling too hard, getting like choke slammed, and getting choke slammed so hard that he got cerebrospinal meningitis.
Oh my God. What I was saying to you when we were sort of first talking about this guy is, to me, this is like history not repeating but rhyming between these guys and like the Assads, right? Because he is basically what we get is Bashar. But
kind of
not supposed to be in charge.
Yeah. So you have this fucking like thug as Tsar. Sergey is Alexander III's brother. And he's like 12 years younger than him, so kind of like an extreme spare. So like there's like 3 other brothers involved here. They're not important, but like eldest son gets wrestled so hard he dies, right? Second oldest son is now king, and then this guy is just around also, Sergei.
Mm-hmm.
He's never going to be Tsar unless the anarchists get really lucky again. And so consequently, his early biography is not very interesting. I mean, this is our first time doing a member of a royal family. All royals are kind of groomed like very inbred dogs. And so nothing they really kind of do is that compelling because it's very, structured, right? Like he's bred to do 2 things, high culture stuff and war.
Yeah, he's got a boring childhood because he spends 95% of his time strolling through a garden.
Basically, yes. Yeah. He does like the high culture shit repeatedly. He becomes kind of a weeb for Italy. Spends a lot of time there, like learns Italian, and like because he's kind of sort of minor royal, he's spending most of his like childhood in Western Europe, like in the south of France, in Italy.
That's also odd for Russians of the period, though, because like everyone else went France to be a weeb for. And he's saying, no, Italy for me.
But this was like during the period where Russia was like, by the way, we're Europe, guys, don't worry about it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. In that sort of 200-year period. And so he like plays the flute, stuff like this. I learn all of this from his Wikipedia page. Now, I do sometimes worry that my body is a machine that turns Wikipedia pages into content.
Mm-hmm.
But this is an interesting Wikipedia page because it glazes him at length in a way that only a monarchist can, right? It's genuinely outrageous. If you read the Wikipedia page as it stands now, there's a lot about like how nice he was as a child.
That's cool.
Which is just really compelling to me to be like, oh yeah, my cousin thinks I'm cool. Here's my 2 favorite sentences. Grand Duke Sergei Alexandrovich started a military career early in his life. He was from birth Colonel-in-Chief of the 38th Tobolsk Infantry Regiment.
I would watch that movie, to be fair. Colonel Baby.
Baby General?
Oh.
Getting a lot of Baby General vibe from this. This is. I love to be like the Prince of Wales since birth exhibited a great interest in Wales. It's like
exactly, yeah.
Why not?
But so in 1877, war breaks out with the Ottomans, and they have to pull this idiot back from Italy to go and be in the war. And he actually does quite well. I'm not sure how much of this is propaganda, how much of this is just being too stupid to be scared, but like. He does authentically get some, like, maybe non-nepotistic medals out of this.
Mm-hmm.
More than that, though, he does seem to like the army, right? Like, there's a sort of a Prince Andrew thing, right, with the Navy, where it's like he's having fun. And so that's where they put him. They put him in charge of the Preobrazhensky Life Guards Regiment, which is very prestigious. It's like Peter the Great's first Western-style regiment. Does a lot of the ceremonial stuff, which it still sort of exists today, right? This is like putting a British royal in charge of, like, the Grenadier Guards, right? If that sort of makes sense to a British listener. Americans, I'm sorry, I don't know.
I was going to say, we have no equivalent of this. This is the equivalent of giving your son your car dealership. I don't know. Like, this is nothing to me.
But like your finest car lot, like the one that's mostly there as a kind of a prestige exercise.
The one that has Curtis Sliwa on retainer for the advertisements.
The one that is still a real functioning car lot that actually sells cars, but people also do come to see them change who's the lead salesperson.
Yeah, to change all the sticker prices on the lot in a very kind of militarized way. The cars are all very shiny, and there's a certain like aristocratic culture attached to it.
I got you.
So, war aside, this is basically a harmless thing for him to be doing. Like, he's not going to be doing any of the kind of great officers of state stuff. As we said, he's never going to be Tsar. So, this is kind of a toy set, right? Like, they've given him a life of marching up and down the square for fun.
Sure. I just have a question, because you mentioned he just really likes being in the army. And you skipped over this, but it's in the notes that he likes to play the flute.
He does, yeah.
Which leads me to ask a question about the man. But does he, and listeners can't see me doing the appropriate hand motion with this, does he like to play the flute?
That's an interesting question. So there are a couple of things about this guy, I would say. Historically, your aristocratic marching up and down the square enthusiast, such as, for instance, I don't know, Frederick the Great, guys like that who like really enjoy spending time in the army, who find it a real breath of fresh air from sort of, walking around gardens and strolling and stuff. Gay, homosexual,
okay,
gay,
this is my question.
Yes, no, he was gay. I mean, he was married, of course, for political reasons.
Wait a minute, could a gay guy get married to a woman? That's crazy.
Yeah, right. He got married to like a German princess. But like in writing his will after he got married, he just straight up comes out and says like, "I'm never having kids." Right?
My wife lives in a castle far away from me.
Yeah,
far away from the square.
Supposedly, they did always sleep in the same bed, but like barely spoke to each other, which is way sadder.
That is strange.
It's a very, very big bed.
Yeah, right. But like they lived together, they like slept together and were completely alienated from one another, like barely spoke 2 words to each other. Now, he is also constantly therefore surrounded by enthusiastic young men, let's say.
Oh, how Macedonian of him.
Yeah, well, this being a perk of being in the army is you're surrounded by men, right?
Yeah.
And like these are twinks in uniform. Who would not fold?
Who would not want their own Russian sacred band of Thebes?
I've included a photo here of the Preobrazhensky regiment. So these are his guys, and you can see the kind of vibe that we're getting here. Very waxed moustaches.
I'd like to read the caption you've put on the photo, please, in the record.
Please.
It's just a photo of a bunch of guys standing next to each other, and they're all mustachioed. And it just says, all of these guys are rubbing mustaches together. And that made me laugh.
Yeah, like at Dalton's licking festival.
Honestly, it's
the rubbing festival.
That's actually quite a bit like the ceremonial changing of the guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. It's like there's a very choreographed mustache rub that is
closing
precise.
the gay border with the Republic of Straight. Yeah,
doing the high kicks, and then you just stop in the middle and give one perfect smooch.
Well, actually, no, it'd have to be like closing the gay border with the Republic of Bisexuality.
Yeah, the Republic of Straights just sort of opens and closes the door. There's not a lot of pageantry there.
Yeah, sorry, on the other side of the bisexual republic, obviously, is the Republic of Straight, and there's sort of like a buffer zone. There's like a DMZ. Yeah, that makes sense.
But so this is not fatal, right? In the way that it would have been perhaps earlier in sort of like Russian history. Like, again, because all of them are sort of like jerking themselves off over the idea of being European. This seems a bit European and modern, right? And it's kind of an open secret that this guy just has these twinks around him all the time. It's very, very open. There's a quote from a memoirist, Countess Lily de Nostitz, incredible name, who said, "It was well known that the Grand Duke Sergei was one of those unhappy men cursed with the failing of loving only their own sex."
So I'm going to say this. This is maybe our first royal, but this is our second mayor who has a boy team.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. He does literally have a boy militia. Well, I mean, significantly more than a militia. He has a boy regiment.
Yeah. So that's the thing, is that Frank Melton had only boy irregulars, whereas the Grand Duke actually does have irregular forces.
Yeah, he's got boy team 6 working for him.
This Deadliest Warrior episode is making me uncomfortable. No, he was notorious for like he would effectively like, if he was dating you, he would appoint you his like aide de camp, like his adjutant. And he would have a couple of those on the go at any one time.
I'd say it's his adjutant. This also settles the question once and for all. Being gay is bourgeois.
I will get to that. Put a pin in that.
Oh no!
So, but like,
oh no!
He's in charge of this. I mean, obviously they put him in charge of it, right? Like, what else would he be? He's the colonel of this regiment, right? But this is a European-style military, and so
I have a question to interrupt you with. Sorry.
Yeah, please.
Is he still the colonel of the other regiment that he was born into also? That he just ignores? He
has all of the ceremonial, like, colonel-in-chief stuff, yes, right, he is also ignoring. But, like, these are his guys. The Preobrazhensky regiment are, like, he feels a strong sense of attachment. He is with them all the time. He is actually doing the job of commanding them, right?
Okay.
That's his unit. And it's interesting that this is an infantry unit, right? Because in the kind of trad European conception of things, even your sort of posh aristocratic infantry unit is still, for a member of the royal family, maybe a bit common. Like, this guy is like a Grand Duke. He should probably be in a cavalry regiment. That's the kind of, dash and elan and the, like, war and peace of it all, right? Well, here's the other thing. Osteoarticular tuberculosis.
That sounds pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. This motherfucker could not sit on a horse, let alone ride one. And in fact, sorry.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, is this sort of like a freak thing, or is it like I'm the most inbred man on the history of the planet Earth?
This is 1 billion% an inbred thing. He probably got this from his mother, who died of it.
Okay.
He got it from his mother, who got it from his
uncle.
Grandmother, uncle, as well as niece, who were all the same person.
Yeah, exactly. Royals. And this one he actually did have to keep a secret, unlike the Twinks. But this is one of the... You might think that this would be the other way around, right? Where people are sort of very understanding about the disease part and very oblivious about the gay part. Other way around. People know what a gay guy is, but, like, will look at this man who is having himself laced into a corset every day because all of his bones are slowly melting and go... Wow, what a dashing military bearing he has. He's so Prussian.
Yeah, I love his exoskeleton.
So they're Spartans. We invented the Spartans.
Kind of.
Basically, if you're disabled, you should die. Everybody's gay and it's awesome.
Yeah, he's like, his sort of slim waist is remarked upon because he is like 100% being held up by his fucking exoskeleton. He is like melting on the inside.
What a carapace.
He's inventing drag.
My next subheading
He's a
says
body queen. Sorry.
In just very much of couch patting around stuff. My next subheading says in boldface, this man was gay and disabled, and yes, I still hate him. Why? So it's always difficult, some would say irresponsible, to take someone from the past and apply like on a modern framework. Why did they do these things in the way that they did, right? And in some ways, like I said, you don't get more constrained than a royal upbringing. Like, I'm not saying that to be sympathetic. It's just the guy was a tomato vine. Like, he was sort of like tied to a trellis. And presumably the homosexuality in a homophobic society and the agonizing bone melting disease were kind of stressful in themselves. But in as much as you can separate out those things, it really does just seem like he was a cunt. Like, if his brother, the Tsar, is like, kind of sort of wrestling people at random and like doing fucking odd job feats of strength shit, this guy is like way more aloof. He is the type of guy to notoriously, ostentatiously put on a white glove before shaking anyone's hand.
Yeah, well, if he did, that glove also was a carapace. If he doesn't put that off and his hand's melting.
It just comes off in your hand, yeah.
This is a really specific kind of like bitchy gay guy. I know this guy and I hate his ass.
I have a series of quotes here. He had a habit of playing with one of his jeweled rings, turning it around his finger.
I mean, I'm often doing that.
He made no secret of his disapproval of fashionable society and its lax ways, and he defied all criticism. He found it hard to cope with opposition and easily lost his temper. In his home, he demanded tidiness, order, and discipline, and he expected to be obeyed.
Oh, November, just a quick one. I think you accidentally put a quote from the profile of Jonathan Van Ness into the notes for the Grand Duke.
This isn't a cunt. He's just really catty. This is a cat. This is like, I'm not going to attempt a Russian accent here, but he's just saying the library is open in Russian every time you walk into his fucking office.
Dry, nervous, short of speech, impatient, he had none of the rather careless good humor of his 3 elder brothers. Puritan and humorless, at least in public, he had a total disregard for public opinion. He never seemed to be at ease with himself and others. He became a focus for serious opponents of the regime as well as for malicious gossip. His cousin, Grand Duke Alexander Mikhailovich, described him, "Try as I will, I cannot find a single redeeming feature in his character. Obstinate, arrogant, disagreeable, he flaunted his many peculiarities in the face of the entire nation."
So sashay away.
He's also like annoyingly religious. Like he gets really pious about it. Something his mum did, and he like picked it up from her, along with a bone melting disease. So very interpersonally annoying. If you were a courtier, right? You just have to deal with this faggot who is like using his fucking stim ring and is just like refusing to touch you or go anywhere near you.
In the 1980s, we finally fixed we solved the conundrum of making the mean guy religious, the mean gay, by inventing Madonna to just sort of shunt all that there.
That's right.
So like this is a problem that was, to be fair to this guy, not solved for several hundred years.
So make this gay, disabled, possibly neurodivergent prick the Governor General of Moscow. I'm
doing it right now.
Yes. So Alexander III, big reaction guy, big crush the workers guy. Basically, this whole episode is going to be the story of the now pretty traumatized Romanovs after Alexander II got blown up, learning from that experience, in air quotes, that you can't negotiate with a revolution, but that then they think, well, we can just repress it.
Okay.
That works.
Yeah, that goes. I imagine it goes fine. What an episode.
Yeah. Sorry, I've misplaced my book of history of the 20th century.
I've been learning history in a really cool way, where I'm learning it completely in order. And so right now I'm up to about 1906. I assume this goes fine.
Yeah, at Prager University, they teach me a lot. And
Prager State University. So in 1891, Alexander III, he's been on the throne for like 10 years. 10 years of his like gay younger brother marching around with his twinks. He finally gets sick of him. And he sends him to Moscow. Moscow in 1891 is kind of weird because it's Russia's second city. The capital is St. Petersburg, right? The new planned capital that Peter the Great built, that purports to have a lot of like Frenchness and elegance and Europeanness, right? Moscow is the old capital, so it still has the Kremlin, still has a lot of like ceremonial and religious importance, but it's not where anyone really like wants to be in aristocracy.
I can't believe that Russia, with its 2 main cities, followed a very Canadian trajectory of being like, all right, fuck St. Petersburg, fuck Montreal, we're going to Toronto and Moscow, where no one really likes.
Yeah, basically. He's kicked out of Ottawa. Also, like, you could read this as a kind of exile, right? Because Sergei, as much as the quote from earlier was like, oh, he hated sort of modern decadence, he fucking loved modern decadence. Of course he did. He didn't want to leave his twinks.
Yeah, that's what twinks are. Twinks are modern. Yeah. We just invented those.
They wouldn't let him bring his twinks with him even. The regiment doesn't go with him. He just has to go and be Governor General of Moscow.
Starting from Twink Zero and a new job.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like the bit in like second act in a GTA game where you have to move to the second island, you know?
Rebuild your Twink army.
Yeah. Alexander does authentically need a guy he can trust in Moscow. So he's like, do as you're told, go to Moscow.
And he's also like Mr. Rules, right? So that makes sense. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Also, typically for the Russian Empire, Moscow is governed really annoyingly. There is a military governor of Moscow. There's also a civil governor of Moscow and they do basically the same job at the same time, but one of them has a uniform. Oh. Thanks to Wikipedia's list of heads of Moscow government, I learned that the responsibilities between the military governor and the civil governor were divided in a very complex way. And then no further information.
Okay.
So
I bet that's what they were told also. Figure it out.
I mean, the good news is, as far as I can tell, I believe this man, Sergei Alexandrovich, was 2 mayors at once. I think he was the civil and the military governor.
The mayor has 2 bodies.
Later on when he stops being mayor, the Tsar appoints like a 3rd governor at the same time.
Cool.
We're just going to keep adding mayors until the revolution
The
clients
year
down.
of 3 mayors.
They should have called it Mayorsco for all the mayors that live there.
Traveling, leaping out of the time portal. They should have called it Mayorsco because it had 3 mayors.
And then I'm gone. And they're like, what does that very strange man have to say?
So here is what I consider a revealing detail about the Russian imperial court. When Sergei is appointed governor general, the foreign minister of Russia, Vladimir Lambsdorff, makes a bilingual Russian-French pun. Moscow used to stand on 7 hills. Now it has to stand on 1 hillock. Now,
okay.
Hillock in Russian is bugor, from which the French bougre and from which the English bugger. I would loosely translate this as, Moscow used to stand amidst a mighty forest of trees, but now it's just 1 faggot.
Wait, the library is open. Thank you.
Yes,
this is also,
yes,
by the way,
it is.
Such a gay guy way to say it.
Funny you should mention. Lambsdorff himself was so gay that the Tsar used to address him in public as Madame.
I did not even read ahead to that part. I was like, well, that's a gay guy thing to say. Jesus Christ.
This is where I unpinned the thing that you said earlier.
That being gay is bourgeois.
This isn't right? But like after decades of these fucking Fabergé polishing, bilingual, French-speaking, ironical gay guys calling each other gay, you do start to see why the Soviets got homophobic.
A little bit.
Just like pulling off one of my like incredibly expensive gloves to make a trilingual pun about this guy taking it up the ass. Meanwhile, 50 trillion serfs have died of starvation.
Yeah. All while having to watch my twinks march in formation and rub mustaches.
I think the thing is, right, you can view the Russian Revolution and its causes a multiplicity of ways, but maybe it's like locking an entire country in a room with one TV that is like armored and the only thing it's showing is Queer Eye.
Yeah, I'd become pretty radicalized against that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So the Tsar, Alexander III, he's all in on like autocracy, Russification, and imperialism. Right? Because the country is in decline. Everyone knows it's in decline. The year he was appointed, the same year Lambsdorff was being like, well, le fagot. So, like, the entire country had like a destroying famine, right? Like, people starved. There was a cholera epidemic. Now, obviously, this is very bad, but don't worry. The Tsar has some theories about who might be responsible for this.
Oh, no. I just scrolled a little down.
No. Listen, scroll back up. It's fine. Listen, Alexander III, the fucking tearing playing cards and half guy, he has a reasoned analysis of the structural problems with his empire, right? And he's going to do a sort of really sort of thorough review. He thinks it's Jews. Okay. He thinks it's the Jews. He's pretty certain it's Jews, yeah.
I cannot believe that Imperial Russian fucking Joe Rogan ended up landing on that particular conclusion. What? Especially because his maybe we have to take this out because he made his brother Imperial Russian Tony Hinchcliffe the mayor of Moscow.
Yeah, sorry, this is the late 1890s now, mid 1890s.
Mm-hmm. This is 1891.
Cool. Guess what? In 5 years, my family has to leave Russia.
Yeah, because of this guy.
Forgot about that. Like my family literally almost exactly temporally and geographically, the second act of Fiddler on the Roof happened to my family. Mm-hmm. Almost exactly, like 1897 or something.
Yeah, these were the guys doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe gay people made my family move to America, which sucks, by the way. Fuck. I'm mad. I hate living in America. And it's a gay guy fault. This is gay. That's unbelievable to me.
It is the fault of cis gays, unfortunately.
I knew it. I cannot believe this.
It's interesting that this bickering cis gay friend group caused a podcast to happen about them, though.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
It's probably the longest timeline from inciting incident to podcast about it.
The little domino being like, do you consider my friends a stupid faggot? to like my grandfather opening up a butcher shop in the Bronx. Like, God.
I thought you would enjoy this. So basically, Alexander's plan is to pass this suite of the May laws, series of extremely anti-Semitic laws that will, in 1892, lead to massive pogroms, like the total ethnic cleansing of the Pale of Settlement, second act of Fiddler on the Roof.
Including a little town outside of Novogrodek called Lubcha. Fuck. God damn. Sorry.
And this is going to, as you say, precipitate the Lubchanskis. It's going to precipitate this massive flight of Russian Jewish refugees out of Russia, right? But in order to do that, he first has to try and destroy the urban Russian Jewish population, right? Which is historically well established because they had this thing called cantonment, right? Which is they did mandatory conscription in the Pale. You did your military service, but then after you did your fucking 20 years of marching up and down the square or whatever, you could theoretically resettle in Moscow or like some of the other cities. And so that was this huge sort of like influx into Moscow. Moscow itself also has a very historically well-established Jewish population. This is another reason why Russian aristocrats preferred St. Petersburg, incidentally. But so Sergei is the guy to do this, right? Alexander is the one who gets his brother to do it. Sergei is very enthusiastic about, in his words, saving Moscow from the Jews, right? Cool. There is a lot of monarchist gloss later on about how terrible he felt, about how awful and dreadful it was that it was necessary to do.
I actually take back what I said then.
He's fine.
If you felt bad afterwards, I'm actually kind of like, it's tough to be the boss.
So Moscow had a Jewish population of 20,000 out of a total of 820,000. First day of Passover, announcement goes out. All Jews are being expelled from the city, 3 months' notice. And this is very familiar kind of horrors, right? You have Cossacks surrounding houses in the middle of the night. You have police sort of hunting hidden Jews. It takes them 12 months to do these expulsions because they do it in phases based on age. And they start in spring. And pretty soon, logically, it's winter in Russia.
Does it get cold?
It gets to minus 30 Celsius, which is minus 22 Fahrenheit. So this is to the point that his own police commissioners, and bear in mind the police are the ones who are robbing the people they're expelling. They're ransacking houses. But his own police commissioners are going to Sergei being this is inhuman. We have to not stop it, but wait until it gets warmer, right? And of course, Sergei agrees to defer this. It's just mysteriously the orders get lost until after it's already happened.
Oh, God. They're inventing liberalism. This is awesome.
Yeah,
cool.
Exactly.
It's weird. That's the same reaction that the normal SS had with the Ustasha in
kind of.
the 30s and 40s, which is hey, we all agree with what we're doing, but you guys are you're a little too enthusiastic about this. Can you please just tone it down?
Yeah. So 8 of the city's 14 synagogues get closed entirely. There's a total press ban on reporting any of this, although news of it does make its way out of Russia anyway. The most evil detail of this is because they were deporting by age. If young Jewish women wanted to stay in Moscow, that was allowed if you registered with the police as a prostitute. And I use that word as a sort of legal category that they were imposing on them, right?
Well.
So, yeah, I'm not doing a happy one on this comedy podcast.
I thought you said you weren't doing a bummer episode today.
No, I am. I am doing a bummer episode.
She's not doing a bummer episode. She's doing an extreme bummer episode.
This one's really, really fun. Look at this gay guy who did a pogrom.
But so here's the thing, right? I think we're all thinking the same thing, which is, and this bears no resemblance to any other period of time, but we're all thinking someone should start killing these guys, right? This is about the time that the police in St. Petersburg foil a plot to assassinate the Tsar. And all of the assassins get executed. Just kind of no-name anarchists, including one guy Alexander Ulyanov.
Okay, sure.
I will say his younger brother Vladimir does not, in the fullness of time, take this well.
Okay. And his name is Vladimir Ulyanov.
Yeah, Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting. That's a really interesting name. I feel like I've heard that before.
Yeah, mysterious.
Is that one of the Beatles?
Just put a pin in that for the moment.
Okay.
There is one funny thing, right? You think this isn't a funny episode. There was one funny thing about this pogrom. What a sentence.
Hey, please tell me.
I'm calling it a Russian governance moment.
Okay.
This destroys the economy of Moscow.
That is funny.
Like the sort of the non-Jewish city merchants warned Sergei ahead of time, do not do the pogrom because you will fuck the economy.
These Jews are load-bearing, sir.
Yes, and they were right. This causes more non-Jewish unemployment, like 25,000 people, than the number of Jews they expelled, which is like 20,000. Mm-hmm. Because when you pogrom a guy, he doesn't keep his business open.
Yeah, who's gonna sell you shoes now? You know, Igor, you fuck. Yeah.
Specifically, who's gonna sell you silk? Like this is the kind
shoes?
Of
my precious silk shoes.
This like destroys the Muscovite like silk industry. The city costs itself 100 million rubles doing this.
Now, I can't imagine a scenario in which any government in history since this happened could possibly be like, why don't we just terrorize everyone who makes the entire country's economy work? Everyone who works at every single store. What if I terrorize them? Is that bad for an economy? I'm just curious.
It sucks we're never going to get to find out because I don't think it's happening anymore.
Yeah, history repeating itself, that's ridiculous.
But so the pogrom is not like fully completed. Like about 20% of the Jewish population of Moscow managed to stay because the money wins effectively. Like, again, the sort of city merchants go to Sergei and is like, no, we are not going to be able to keep the lights on, you know, like we need all of these people. And so they get the expulsion like formally ended at like 80% done. But he's still responsible for it.
The Grand Duke issues the just kidding order.
I will say what's maybe, I don't know, troublesome for certain stereotypes about Jewish people is this exact scenario. You're like, hey, you can't expel the Jews. They own everything. And then it kind of bears out to be true. And I'm like, okay, but like,
unfortunate.
There's reasons for this.
There are very good reasons for this.
There's good reasons. It's all we're allowed to do is own stores.
It's also really self-perpetuating because the people who are most able to survive the pogrom and not get kicked out of Moscow are the richest, predictably. And so they are the ones who stay, who have the influence and the sort of like economic pull where it becomes kind of like desperately unwise to expel them, right?
Yeah.
But so this is this guy's first big policy in Moscow. And Tsar's pretty happy. But you know what? The Tsar's got a long enemies list. He's got some more theories about who might be responsible for all of the decline. And again, there's no parallels here. But left-wing students, I'm thinking. I'm thinking those guys might be like a kind of enemy within.
You see, when I went to the tea house, my tea was served to me from a samovar that was being attended to by someone who clearly was being influenced by Italian fashion. They had dyed their hair some kind of a magenta.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the pronouns people, right? And here's the thing, like Moscow is it's a city with a lot of universities, even at the time. And for a like geographically large country, it's another pull factor into the cities, like except instead of factories for workers, it's universities for the intelligentsia. And the Romanovs apprehend correctly that this is a part of the bomb under their feet, right? Like this is the thing that got the Tsar's father killed, for instance, is radicalized students. But all they can think to do is repress and repress and repress. And Sergei loves doing that. So like, there's a couple of things where he's like, hey, I'll build you a new fucking dormitory or whatever. But in general, everybody goes to fucking prison, right? Or gets exiled.
Oh, you know what? If you put everybody in prison, they're all in a room together where they can talk to each other, which can't have any nothing bad will come out of that, right? If they're all hanging out all the time.
I really enjoy the historical Russian punishment of exile, where you put a guy in Siberia, and then after a while, because you don't have the capacity to imprison him in any meaningful way, and like, what's he going to do? Walk back? Like, eventually, you get bored and go, fine, whatever, come back to Moscow, and you assume that guy's stopped thinking about you or has learned his lesson.
Yeah, he's probably thinking about trees and stuff. That's
yeah,
really all that's there.
He's thinking about
think about me.
He's thinking about all the cool trees he saw on the walk back.
I have illustrated this phenomenon here with a screen capture of Chief Wiggum taunting the police Dobermans.
The little smile on his face is really good.
Yeah. But so, our next segment. Hello and welcome to Well, There's Your Problem, a podcast about engineering disasters with slides.
Oh.
So, it's 1894.
Okay.
We've been doing like 3 years of student repressing and Jew expelling. And good news, the Tsar has died.
Oh, well.
He done ripped his last playing cards.
He got caught on a 5 of diamonds. It just made him so mad he died.
The way he died is so much stupider than that,
okay.
Right? So he like wasn't assassinated, except maybe as like a second order consequence. In 1888, his train car had been bombed, and he had used his, I describe it here as his stupid pig-like physical strength to hold up the roof of the bombed car so that they could rescue his idiot children. This is sometimes held in the sort of similar causative chain to got wrestled into meningitis to have caused the nephritis that would kill him years later.
Oh.
And then his children were like, well, that's the last time we get killed in a way that involves a train.
Pretty much, yeah. So like in 1894, like 6 years later, he dies of kidney failure, largely brought on in the First Order by spite. His son Nicholas, future Tsar, is bringing his fiancée to meet him, and he insists on wearing full dress uniform to meet her, the effort of which kills him.
Well, those uniforms are so heavy. If you look at them, there's a lot of medals on them.
One hit point left,
yeah.
You know, and he's like, put me in the fucking armor.
It's not. Don't worry. It is made of cloth, but there's so many metals on it that functionally it is armor. Yeah.
It's super important that we've buttoned that none of those metals have a loose pin. It is so important that not one of those metals.
Deflating like a balloon. But the problem with the Tsar dying is that this means that his son is now Tsar. Nicholas. We're familiar from like,
I remember him from history.
Yeah, insane Russian monarchists calling him Emperor, Martyr, Saint, because Russian Orthodoxy is the only religious denomination more servile to royalty than the Church of England. Now,
get him.
As we remember from history class, Nicholas is a lifetime bitch, but because of the ceremonial reasons we talked about earlier, he has to come to Moscow for the coronation, right? Has to happen in the Kremlin. This is a huge pain in the dick. Nobody likes Moscow. It's not French. It's not beautiful. It's just kind of ugly and Russian, and
barely
everyone
gay
hates
at all.
it. Exactly.
No Jews though.
Well, this is true. So, but because Sergei is Governor General of Moscow, Nicholas has to put his uncle in charge of organizing the coronation. And I will say this for him: the actual ceremony goes off without a hitch.
Oh, great
goes
episode.
Fine.
Cool.
Good party plan.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this has been an episode of No Go.
Oh, okay.
So when you crown the Tsar, you have to do some like public festivities, you know? Of
course.
And the deal is that like it's an opportunity for the Tsar to demonstrate like magnanimity. Like you get a coronation gift that is just like given out, and this gift consists of like it's like a bread roll, a piece of sausage, some gingerbread, and a commemorative enamel mug, which, thanks, I guess. But, like, if you're starving, that's something, right? You turn out for this. Now, Sergei has organized these sort of public festivities at a field called Khadinka, which is a military training ground outside of town. It's almost exactly a campus martius if you're into your classics. It's stadiums now. This kind of presents a problem because it's covered in, like, trenches and like shell craters and like other army type bullshit. They've had horses running back and forth over it for years.
So are you suggesting essentially that what they have created is the kind of like sort of the second scene, the first scene at the Citadel in Mad Max Fury Road?
Yeah, kind of. Like, please come to this like extremely rutted field that has just like a ravine next to it.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to do that,
Some
right?
Unexploded ordnance, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're gonna get your gift.
Yeah.
And someone starts a rumor that the new Tsar, he's so generous that those like enamel coronation mugs, those are going to be like full of gold coins. And enough people believe this that people start showing up like the afternoon before. 5 a.m. on Coronation Day, there are 500,000 people on the field. And mind you, the population of Moscow is 800,000.
Okay.
Sergei has organized like about 1,000 police and 1 detachment of Cossacks, which is not a lot.
Point of order. I would like you to personally tell the ghost of my great-great-grandfather, Abraham Lubchansky with a Z instead of an H, that 1 detachment of Cossacks is not a lot of Cossacks. I want you to go tell him that right now.
Relative to I would not. Here's the thing. Imagine 500,000 your grandfathers.
Yeah. I couldn't possibly.
Now it's a different proposition.
It sure is.
Yeah. It's like, this is what, 1 Cossack per 500?
Yeah.
I don't know. Pretty fair fight.
At 6 a.m., another rumor circulates, and I've got a painting here of this kind of like closely pushed together crowd, this like pavilion in the center. And this rumor is that the sort of booths that they have where they're going to give out these gifts, they've already opened and they're running out.
It's nice to know that people have always been this fucking stupid everywhere on Earth for all time.
Yes.
This looks like the worst jazz fest I've ever been to.
But you see that like wooden fence at the front?
I sure do.
Yeah.
Looks really like fragile.
What we've done is we've done 1 Cossack versus 500 Maddie's grandfather. Now we're doing 1 fence versus 500,000 hungry Russians.
Mm-hmm. People start pushing on this fence, which is fragile. Order starts to break down. The police lose control. Fence collapses. People fall in the kind of like uneven ground. People push forward on top of them, trying to push forward. Then they can't see that there's a crush, and they're trying to get these fucking enamel mugs, and more people land on top of them. And the way it goes with crowd crushes, before anyone knows it, thousands of people are dead. Like at least 1,200, potentially up to 20,000.
Okay. I would describe this as a hitch.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But in a crowd of 500,000 people, part of the problem here is that nobody can really see over it, right? Nobody necessarily knows what's happened yet. So they just take all the bodies away.
Okay.
And at 2 p.m., the Tsar and the Tsarina appear in this pavilion up top in front of the crowds, smile, wave, and leave.
Cool. I wonder, it doesn't feel representative of anything, does it?
So
did people like that?
So that evening, when they're told what's happened, neither Sergei nor Nicholas display the slightest interest or emotion.
Sergei was like, how many of them were beautiful boys?
And although they are warned by their own advisors, this is a bad idea, both of them go to a ball at the French embassy that evening. And Sergei is so happy that the like foreign ambassadors are remarking with some disgust on how much he's smiling. Just as a kind of like sort of weird historical samurai sending Abraham Lincoln a fax thing, the Chinese ambassador says, Chinese emperor wouldn't have done that. which is really good. The like emperor of like Qing would not have done this.
Встретитесь со мной в очень китайский период моей жизни.
So I have the entirety of Nicholas II's diary entry for the day of which he got crowned on, by the way. 19th of May, Saturday. Until now, everything was going, thank God, like clockwork. But today there was a great mishap. The crowd staying overnight at Khadinka, awaiting the start of the distribution of lunch and mugs, pushed against buildings, and there was a terrible crush, and awful to say, trampled around 1,300 people.
2 exclamation points.
Yep.
Was that the 2 exclamation points I assume he put in his diary?
Indicating a chess blunder, yes. I found out about it at 10:30 before the report by Minister of War Vanovsky. A disgusting impression was left by this news. At noon, we had lunch, and then the Tsarina and I went to Khadinka to be present at this sad national holiday. Actually, there was nothing going on. We looked from the pavilion at the huge crowd that surrounded the stage from which the orchestra played all the time the anthem and glory. Went to the Petrovsky Palace, where at the gate I received several delegations and then entered the yard. Here dinner was served under 4 tents. I had to make a speech, and then another for the assembled marshals of the nobility. After going around the table, we left for the Kremlin. Dinner at Mama's at 8. Went to the ball at the French ambassador Montebello's. It was very nicely arranged, but the heat was unbearable. After dinner, left at 2.
Who can really say who had the worst day then?
Yeah, I would say so. It's hot. It was hot.
It was okay, but he's wearing so much clothing. I do feel that's
true. It does take a while for the penny to drop on exactly how bad this looks for the royal family, but by this point, people are already calling Sergei the Prince of Khadinka. Right, like this is sort of notorious. He's like a butcher. He takes this with his characteristic grace. He tries to blame everything on the chief of police.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Doesn't.
Yep. Perfect.
It doesn't go back to the scene. Doesn't go to any of the funerals. And Nicholas is seriously petitioned to fire him, but his brothers close ranks in a kind of grand ducal strike action and like threaten to resign if he's fired.
Resign as your uncle? Like what?
Basically, yeah.
I hereby resign as your uncle. Goodbye. Yeah.
And so the chief of police goes, Sergei stays. And in fact, when he puts down another student uprising and jails and exiles 1,000 students, he gets promoted to lieutenant general same year.
Oh, cool. I wonder if this kind of behavior, I don't know, this is what, Russia in the early 1900s now?
Well, that's where I'm up to in history.
Yeah, so I don't know, there's probably nothing happens, right?
I would describe this as inflexible conduct.
I'm actually really curious who the Tsar of Russia is right now. I'm just going to go look. Yeah,
I imagine he's still there doubling down.
Yeah.
Although, he could be a Tsarina 2026.
Could be a Tsarina as 2026. You're right. You're so right, Riley.
Tsarinex. So he stays as Governor General of Moscow, doing the self-same repression until 1905. But not for the reasons you might imagine of things that happen in 1905. Basically, he resigns in protest because he considers Nicholas II, the guy who didn't fire him for like killing all those people, to be a pussy for not doing more repression.
The last guy let me do a pogrom.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
He's mad he doesn't get to do more pogroms. Like, Russia is
my pussy nephew who won't do any more, and he won't do any genocide.
Russia is getting its dick kicked in by Japan. Revolution is everywhere in the air. And the thing about Nicholas II is, as we know from history class, he does this fucking weather vane act, like sometimes repress, sometimes concede. And Sergei, he is all repress, no concede. So he's like, I quit. I retire to like live in peace and obscurity with my millions of rubles in my palace with my twinks and my bitch wife.
I would love a twink dacha.
I forgot he had a wife this whole time until just now.
And my 2 foster children to whom I am infamously cruel.
What?
My two foster children, whose names are Lenin and Trotsky.
He literally, there's a photo of him with his children where he's like, I don't mean to put that gloss on children to imply that fostering isn't like real parenting, but for this guy, right? Like where he just has this kid in a fucking death grip, right? Like it's like incredibly strict gay father. Now I'm just gonna put something out here, right?
Okay.
You might, I guess, raise some questions about a guy who is pretty high up the line of succession, right? Like he would be Tsar if like Nicholas's whole family got wiped out, for instance, who keeps talking about how he would do things differently and he would introduce some real discipline, and who then goes, I'm going to retire into obscurity forever now at the age of 47.
I'm just going to go back to my
Bonade. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm just going to go back to my big house and marshal some stuff.
Bonade but he may have been 47. His bone age was like 106.
Okay, true.
I forgot that his bones were melting the whole time.
He is not very popular with his own constituents, is the thing. Like, he is getting death threats and like plots all the time, to the point that he has to move his family into the Kremlin in the middle of the night. But sort of key part of being a royal at this point is doing the kind of devil may care thing of being like, God means me to live, right? Nothing's going to happen to me. I'm going to ride around town in my extremely distinctive carriage, you know, to show willing. He does, however, stop letting his boyfriends ride in the same carriage as him, which is...
No, baby, it's too dangerous.
This is maybe the only...
I would never let anything happen to you.
This is maybe the only time in this guy's entire life I've found any evidence of him caring about anyone except himself. It's couched in this kind of military thing of like, well, you're sort of young married men, you know, and you have to sort of like, it's an unacceptable risk for you. But like, he is very close to these guys, and he's like, no, maybe just don't get.
Yeah. And I'll be safe. I'm wearing my carapace.
That's right. So one day, he's coming back from lunch in his extremely distinctive carriage to the Kremlin. And as that carriage turns the corner, an exiled student and poet named Ivan Kalyaev.
Oh, no, he walked back?
Yeah, he walked back. Well, no, they just let him back. They were just like, I assume that this guy's fine now, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
They exiled him for left-wing activities, and they assumed got that out of his system in Siberia. He steps forward and he says, thank you for exiling me to Siberia. I've seen the light now. I'm an autocrat and a monarchist. No, what he does is he throws a nitroglycerin bomb directly into Sergei's lap.
Have this cool bomb I found.
I wanted to get this bomb further away from the Kremlin because that's where the monarchy is.
I had this bomb Fabergé. I hope you like it. It's a gift because you're a military guy and also a fancy guy. I thought it would appeal to both your interests. That's what he yelled, apparently.
Yeah. No, and so he throws this bomb. It lands in Sergei's lap, and he invites Sergei decades early, ahead of schedule, to become the first Russian cosmonaut. So is Sergei, as raising it all the way to the roof of a nearby building where they find it with one of the fucking stimmy rings still attached.
Okay, now my question is, can your body live without a head? Do you need that?
No.
Does that kill him?
He is thoroughly exploded. Like the whole upper half of his body is blown off, basically.
So like, how's he get better from that?
So I don't really know how to break this to you, but like he does die here.
Ooh.
Yeah, from the being blown apart.
I thought he went to go live on that farm with the other royals.
The real problem with learning history in order is every time it's shocking.
The bomb goes off, blows off the sort of rear half of the carriage.
His fancy carriage
atomizes Sergei. Sort of shatters every window on the street. The sort of front half of the carriage is being dragged down the street by the horses. It's got like the coachman sort of clinging onto the reins, dying. Kalyaev, having expected to die doing this, instead finds himself completely deaf, covered in his own and Sergei's blood, tangled in the back wheels of the carriage, which are the only part of the rear half of it left.
Sick. That is a crazy picture.
What you're saying is this was, because you say it was a nitroglycerin bomb just to kill a guy in a carriage.
Yep.
It didn't occur to me until just now how overkill that is.
That the Russian left of the 1900s firmly, I would say, believed that there is no kill like overkill. So Sergei is fucking gotten, right? Like he is done. Kalyaev is, of course, immediately arrested at the scene. When he's sentenced to death, he gets an insanely hard line off. He says, I am pleased with your sentence, he told the judges. I hope that you will carry it out just as openly and publicly as I carried out the sentence of the Socialist Revolutionary Party. Learn to look the revolution in the face.
I hope you explode me, Your Honor. I hope you explode me in front of everybody. I think it would be really cool for everyone to see it.
Yeah, I was hoping to explode. Do I get to pick how you do it? I really wanted to explode.
Can you give 7 guys a bomb and then 1 guy a dud? And they all throw the bombs.
For the bombing squad?
The bombing squad. Can you give me the bombing squad?
Firing squad. Yeah. We have the Grenadier Regiment's firing squad.
Yeah, I just want that plausible deniability that I'm pretty sure I'm the guy that threw the bomb that didn't explode.
Well, it looks like the Grenadier Regiment's firing squad exploded themselves again because the grenades bounced off the wall.
So much along. So he does get hanged is the problem, which is no fun. But to catch the bit before that, this guy wasn't a Bolshevik. He was a left SR. He was a militant social democrat.
He was Russian Ed Davey.
This is like getting slimed by an "in this house we believe" guy. Like, and here's the funniest detail about the life of Ivan Kalyaev is he had joined one of Lenin's pre-Bolshevik organizations and quit on the basis that this Lenin guy, he's all talk.
Average Russian voter.
It's like, no, I'm going where the action is. The Socialist Revolutionary Party.
Oh my God.
The second funniest detail about Ivan Kalyaev is that he was also an the optics guy. because Sergei was just driving around town, right? Or being driven around town. Kalyaev was about to do it the previous day. Except, like, he had his wife and foster kids in the carriage, and Kalyaev thought, this is going to make the movement look bad, so he just waited until the next opportunity and did it clean.
I mean, that's pretty good. I think it's bad. I think it's bad to explode children.
I agree, yeah. And there's no collateral damage apart from, I guess, the coachman, but whatever.
Yeah, even the horses survived.
This is true. But here's an interesting fact. Right, just to think about the guy retiring at 47 thing. So the Socialist Revolutionary Combat Organization, to which Kalyaev belonged, which he got into after he was like, this Lenin guy's nothing, right? It was then led by a guy named Yevno Azev.
I'm laughing at your note.
Me when I get a bad hand in Scrabble. Yes. And Yevno Azev was an undercover Tsarist secret police agent.
So this is just the FBI again. We've done it.
Yeah,
there are FBIs in history for those to see it.
Who benefited tremendously within the SRs from having organized Sergei's assassination. He got promoted in the party, which let him immediately give the secret police the names of every member of the party they wanted.
So there was, like, I don't know, something that maps on about 60% to, like, the Tsarnaev brothers bombing in Imperial Moscow.
This is not a small part of why it was the Bolsheviks instead of the left SRs who formed the kind of revolutionary core of what became the Soviet Union. It also forced the resignation of the then head of the Tsarist secret police, the Okhrana, to be replaced by Yevno Azev's handler, a guy called Pyotr Rakhovsky, who commissioned the forgery of the Protocols of the Elders of Zion.
The entirety of human history.
It all happened in Russia in about like 1905 to 1917.
It's insane. But the other thing I was thinking is when we started this show, we're like, mayors are fun to think about. But what I didn't realize is that all of human, the mayor is the hinge point of all history.
Yeah.
Like mayoralty is kind of like a sort of catch bin for the detritus of like families and sort of political movements and stuff. But I guess a lot of history ends up in that catch bin also.
Yeah. So
it's just of course if you're gonna have a catch-all, it's gonna catch all.
I'm just gonna do some lone gunman shit right quick.
Please.
Let me be absolutely clear that I am putting this together with string and push pins and a wild dose of conspiracism, right? This is not anything, as far as I know, any serious historian has ever said. But I just think it's weird that a credible aristocratic challenger to the Tsar is forced out of public life before he's 50 years old, and then as soon as he was out of power, was assassinated by a terrorist cell commanded by a police informant. Like, if you transpose that forward 100 years, how does that look? That looks like fucking Yevgeny Prigozhin. Like, you think the guy who loosed the fucking protocols of the Elders of Zion on the world would be above orchestrating a royal assassination for the benefit of himself, his agent, and the Tsar? Like,
I mean,
damn.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely tracks with the possibility that he was off in his Twink dacha, sort of like marshaling his forces, right? Like,
yeah. And this is just my theory. It's nothing about it anyway. But I think I have arrived at the funniest possible combination of political positions to hold. To be a woman who thinks that Lee Harvey Oswald wasn't a patsy, but Ivan Kalyaev was.
Well, you know, that photo of Russian Life magazine, that nitroglycerin bomb was actually photoshopped into his hand.
So, I mean, did any of that avail Nicholas II? Of course it didn't. You know, like, history happened to him because the revolution is not about individuals. It's about structural forces, you know? And it turns out that guy who, like, killed your fucking dad, his brother, actually really maybe has some capacity to organize some things. And then pretty soon, you know, you're getting thrown down the mine shaft in Yekaterinburg, right? Like, this shit happens. And I've included here a tweet which I think illustrates the kind of folly of Nicholas II, if anyone would like to read that.
Yeah, well, why don't I read the tweet it's quoting, and Maddie, you can read the tweet that's being highlighted. Which is, there's a reason Power Rangers are no longer relevant.
And the tweet quoting it says, because they killed all their ops. Has Spider-Man even gotten the Don that licked down his own uncle? Oh, you got superpowers, but your uncle got touched. I'm a normal human, and all my uncles are fine.
So, Nicholas II's uncle was not fine. You know, his uncle did get touched very much.
His uncle was extremely touched by a Fabergé egg full of nitroglycerin.
I can't believe that poet licked down my uncle.
So Sergei was buried.
Festival? At the licking festival.
Yeah, Sergei was buried wrapped in an army greatcoat in the, I shit you not, the Chudov Monastery. It's Chudov, but whatever. Under like a big memorial cross that was personally demolished by Lenin.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, obviously it was.
And which then was reinstalled in front of Putin in 2015.
Sure.
None of Ivan Kalyaev's poetry survives.
Damn.
And the long thread of Russian history just kept on spooling out past this fucking dipshit who I hate and who is a real piece of shit, and it's a good thing that he got blown up.
Of course, they had to wrap him in the greatcoat. They were probably scraping him off walls for days.
Literally, yes.
He was in the greatcoat's pockets. They had to put him in the pockets of the coat. That's crazy. Also, we never got around. I just every time you say his name, I'm thinking to myself, Sergey.
Sergey, yeah.
Sergey, which is a new thing to call your friend if he's a knight.
Sergey? He is, yeah. And
this guy sucked ass.
Yeah, that is the history of Sergei Alexandrovich Romanov. It's a real piece of shit, and this is what happens when you let yourself be governed by a monarchy. The good news is, the historically progressive force, and I'm just checking here, turns out it always wins. So,
cool.
Good news.
Yeah, sorry that you got distributed in equal parts among the buildings nearby, but kind of historically inevitable, I suppose.
Yeah, modernity happened to him, you know? You think you can run this kind of like, you know, early modern shit forever? Absolutely not. No. Get blown up, idiot.
Yeah, and I mean, it was it certainly was modern. Be like, hey, I'm going to try to run a sort of quasi-surf state where I get to have, you know, because I have my magic blood, and then you meet.
Think fast, fuck ass. Chemistry has been invented. So I don't know what the technology is that's going to be like that for now. I assume it's going to be horrible in a new and interesting way. But whatever it is, I look forward to it overthrowing the kind of styles of governance that are retrospective.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing this massive melting piece of shit to my attention.
Yeah, I really enjoyed thinking about him.
He's the reason our podcast exists, kind of.
Yeah, so I guess he did one... Like, you say you did one good thing, but I'm happy our podcast exists.
Yeah, thanks,
I am
man.
too.
Yeah, big ups to
Crazy
this
how
guy.
you got blown up.
It's crazy how you exploded so much. What's the really sad... Yeah, sorry.
So Ivan Kolyaev had the bloody mess perk, so like it was bad.
Yeah, he was imbued with the power of chemistry.
He got jibbed. He got insta-jibbed.
The saddest thing about him to me, this guy, is that he won't be alive for the No Gods, No Mayors live show in London on April 25th and 26th, which we're doing 3 shows in 2 days.
It can be in his memory, you know?
Yeah.
Dedicated
Grand
to
Duke
him.
Sergei Alexandrovich 3-show memorial tour. No Gods, No Mayors, cowboy bullshit.
That's not going to fit on the poster.
I've already started the poster. It is not him themed, so don't you dare. It is, I think we are calling it the Municipal Rodeo.
It is, yeah. 3 nights of Municipal Rodeo.
It's 2 nights, 3 shows.
2 nights.
1 afternoon.
2 nights.
2 nights, 3
1
shows.
night, 1 afternoon, but it shares the day with one of the
second
nights.
night. That's
perfect.
And that'll go on the poster.
That will be on the poster, yeah.
Yeah, some are saying it's the clearest explanation of a date that's ever been shared.
Anyway, April 25th and 26th, Big Belly Comedy Club, South Bank, London. You will go to it if you can.
Yes, yes, you will.
Ticket link should be in the show notes by now.
Yeah, I hope so.
God willing.
By now they'd better be.
By now they better be, or we have a problem.
Or if they're not, if you're listening to this and you look at the show notes, this is a great way to like have like a little check-in on our collective mood. If there is no ticket link in the show notes, then you can imagine that we're probably
big
stressed.
Frowny face.
Yeah, you don't need to tell us if it's not there.
Yeah. If there is a big ticket link in the show notes, then we're walking around with big dumb grins plastered on our faces.
Right. That is right. Thank you so much for joining me, comrades.
Oh,
thank you.
That was once again a classic tour de force of a gigantic asshole.
The revolution always wins, even when it doesn't. It still wins. Yeah. So you know, do like Mike Davis said. You know, like fight like the Red Army at Stalingrad. Anyway. Thank you so much for listening. We have a Patreon, which this was on. So you're already giving us money. No, it's not. Okay, we have a Patreon. You should give us money. NoGodsNoMayors.com. We will use it for like subversive activities, things of this nature.
Yeah. Super swear, promise.
Yeah. I'm not. Harry, it's for worker power. I wouldn't spaff it up the wall on camera equipment.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you the next week.
Bye.